recording. Hey guys, welcome back to Hellstormwargaming and welcome to our highlight reveal of the codex changes of, I don't know which video this is going to be on, so Space Wolves, Death Watch and Forge World Compendium. Thanks to Games Workshop, they sent us 3 lovely books to have a look at and show off to you guys today. They go along with the Space Wolf Codex that they sent us previously. This is a new format we're trying out. This is just going to be a highlight reel. It's like 10 minutes of some of the main changes that have gone on in these books. If you'd like a full review where I go over every single change I can find in each of these books, then you'll have to subscribe to Hellstorm Premium. You can do that by clicking join down below and clicking on tier 3 and joining there to get access to not only this review, not only to the other books review, but also 50 other member only videos for 9th edition. Or you can do it at hellstormwargaming.co.uk to get even more videos over there. If you aren't already supporting the channel, then you're missing out on a lot of content, but all you can do is just sit and watch this highlight reel and enjoy it. Click like and subscribe and tell your friends about it. Speaking of the Wolf King, if you're watching this on Saturday the 31st, the day of release, then at 2 PM today, English time, UK time, the tank will be back using the Space Wolf supplement, playing against me with Necrons. We're going to be doing a live battle report. It's a brand new setup. You might see it looks a bit tidy and a little bit fancier in here. We got a live battle report with a brand new setup, so don't miss it. It should be great. Loads of cool stuff from Space Wolves. I'm using Necrons with like the new Doomstalkers, etc., so it should be really fun, so make sure you don't miss it. Hello everyone and welcome back to Hellstorm Premium. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic day and thanks for your support once again. If you clicked on this video then you know what time it is. It is time for... it's time for the Wolf King. The Wolf King has returned. But also we've got the Death Watch supplement to review as well. The review should already be out now. Thank you to Tom being an absolute babe and editing it while I do this one because it is Friday evening. These came Friday at like 3 in the afternoon or something, so I've been working hard. So we've got Death Watch out already, we've got Space Wolves now, and then hopefully we'll have a review of the Imperial Armor Compendium, which will be really fun. So without further ado, let's look at Space Wolves. I say if you want to watch Death Watch, then let's look at Space Wolves instead. Okay, so this is the new style of review. It's very similar to the one that I did for the Space Marines and Necrons there, because I've made some notes. So it's very similar style review. I'm going to go through all the different things through the book. So we're going to start with the chapter tactic changes, or like the army-wide changes. I'm going to talk about the stratagems. Then we're going to talk about the warlord traits, then the relics, then the psychic powers, then their unique secondaries. Then I'm going to talk about unit change highlights. So what units have changed and how the points are looking. If you like this type of video, then do let me know in the comments. If you want to help out, you can leave some timestamps. If you want to be an absolute G in it, leave some timestamps in the bottom so I can pin those so people can find the bit they want to look at easily. And also, if you got any ideas for how I can improve these types of videos, then do let me know. This is all still quite new. It's like, I feel like it's a nice way to get all the information at you within like a short time frame. But if there's anything you think I could do better in this type of video, then do let me know and I'll try to accommodate. So without further ado, let us begin. So chapter tactic changes. Space Wolves can take successors like other chapters, and that's it. That's all that's changed. The doctrine hasn't changed. The tactic itself hasn't changed since the new book, Space Marine Codex, sorry. So the army functions pretty much the same way, except that now they can take successors. And a lot of people are kind of like annoyed because Space Wolves don't have successors. And there's literally nothing in the book about successor lore. It is just like a rule thing. So you can take normal successors where you choose to, and then act as if you're a Space Wolves in terms of stratagems, warlord traits, and doctrine. But yeah, that's the only difference. There's pretty much everything else is the same, which is quite surprising. It didn't get mentioned whatsoever, like from what I've seen anyway. I mean, I could have missed it. I haven't had a proper chance to read it, but I couldn't see anything mentioning like how the Space Wolf successors came about. It's just like just Space Wolf lore, and then it's like, oh, you can also take a successor for rules. So okay. So then we're going to go on to stratagems. So quite quick and easy for chapter tactic changes, but it's mostly the same. One thing I should say is that I'm comparing this to the index, not to the original codex, because all of those changes are kind of already being addressed now, so I don't think it makes sense for me to go back to the codex to compare to the index to compare to this. I'm just comparing to the index we've got already. So when I say there's 16 new stratagems, it's not really 16 new stratagems. Some of them have been rehashed from the old book anyway. So, however, there are 16 new stratagems. It's quite interesting because they made some really good ones for like Thunderwolves and for Wolfguard, and then they've just written them out again. So from the index, you've lost Vicious Executioners, Death Grip Bite, Touch of the Wild, Knowledge of the Foe, and Crushing Assault. Touch of the Wild is really big blow, I think, because that's a really, really good stratagem, but probably why they got rid of it. Two of them you have kept from the index. You've got Pack Hunters, but it's changed. It's now TCP. It's Beast and Cavalry only. They essentially roll 3d6 and then discard on the dice when they charge. And then the Teeth and Claws reroll wounds, which is pretty decent for TCP. And then Counter Charge is 1 CP, but if you are a character, it's now 3. So it essentially lets your heroic intervene 6 inches rather than 3. Then you've got a load of new ones. You've got 14 new stratagems. Some of these I'm pretty sure I recognise from the old codex, but I'm not going to do all the changes. I'm just going to tell you what they do. You got Go for the Throat, which is 2 CP, which is very similar to every other chapter has a similar ability. Essentially, while their specific doctrine is active, in this case, the Assault Doctrine, when they make an attack with a pistol or melee weapon, if you roll a 6 to wound, it gets an extra AP, and it's cumulative with combat doctrines. So every chapter seems to have one of these, depending which doctrine they favour in. So like Imperial Fists have a heavy version, and Iron Hands do. Ultramarines have a tactical version, so it's pretty decent. You got Cunning of the Wolf. Use a stratagem during deployment. Select 1 Space Wolf infantry unit from your army. All models in that unit gain the outflank ability. So again, I'm pretty sure this is from the Codex, just gain outflank. Then you have the Emperor's Executioners. Select a Space Wolf unit from your army and it gets to reroll hits and wounds in combat against Thousand Suns. So it's 1 CP. You got Savage Strike. Use your stratagem in your fight phase when a Space Wolf unit from your army is selected to fight. In that, if that unit made a charge move this turn, then until that fight is resolved, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the attack's wound roll. If this unit is 5 or fewer models, it's 1 CP instead of 2. So plus 1 to wound in combat, which is pretty decent. You've then got Healing Balms, which is 1 CP. Use it at the end of the movement phase. Select an infantry, biker, or cavalry unit within 3 inches of a wolf priest. That model regains up to D3 lost wounds. So essentially, because I don't think Space Wolves can take apothecaries because of the law, they have wolf priests, which are your chaplains, which are like chaplains and apothecaries. So this is like their workaround. We've then got Relentless Assault. Use your stratagem in the fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army consolidates. Each model in that unit can move up to an additional 3 inches for the consolidation move. It's not cumulative with any other rule. So get a 6-inch consolidate essentially. So then we've got Warlord traits and sagas. So if you're a Space Wolf player, you kind of got an understanding how these work already. But essentially, you give your Warlord a Warlord trait. So you gain a Warlord trait as normal, and they gain an ability from that Warlord trait. But however, the difference is they have a deed to do, which is kind of like something that they have to do, which is very similarly related to the Warlord trait you've given them. Then if they do complete the deed, the Warlord trait becomes a saga, and then essentially it becomes an aura ability which affects units nearby, which is pretty cool. They have changed slightly, so let's go through them. The first Warlord trait is Beast Slayer. Essentially the bearer or the Warlord gets +1 attack when in engagement range with a monster or vehicle, and they add 1 to wound and hit rolls against vehicles and monsters. The saga they have to do is kill a monster or a vehicle, and when they do, then core units within 6 +1 to wound against monster and vehicles in melee, which is pretty decent. So essentially if they kill a vehicle or monster, a +1 to wound in combat against them. Then we got Wolfkin, which is number 2. They get, instead of the Shock Assault ability gave him +1 attack, it gives plus D3 attacks instead of 1. And if that Warlord kills a model in combat, core units within 6 essentially always have Shock Assault whether they charged or didn't. Then you got Warrior Born, which is number 3. Essentially gives the bearer or the Warlord fight first in combat. And if they do kill a model in combat, then core units within 6 also fight first. Then you got Hunter, which is +1 to advance and charge rolls. And if they advance or fell back, they can still charge. If they do make a charge, the saga is met, and the core units within 6 can charge after advancing and falling back as well. The final 2, you got Aura of Majesty, which is +3-inch range to Rites of Battle, Tactical Precision, Chapter Master and Spiritual Leaders to a max of 9, but also +3-inch range to Litany Rangers. The deed of this is to hold an objective outside of your deployment zone more than 6 inches away at the start of your command phase. And if you do that, then all core units ignore morale checks, which is pretty good. And the final one, we got Resolve of the Bear, which is a 6+ damage defensive roll or 6+ feel no pain. And the opponent cannot reroll any damage rolls against your Warlord. If that guy does lose any wounds, then core units within 6 inches gain a 6+ damage prevention roll whilst within 6 as well, which is pretty decent. Then we've got Psychic Powers, so they have a unique discipline. I haven't checked this against I don't think they have this in the index, but I haven't checked this against the Codex, but a lot of them sound the same. They might have changed a little bit, but we'll go through them anyway. You got Living Lightning, which is a Witchfire, and it's Watch Out 6. Choose a unit within 18 inches. That unit takes D3 mortal wounds. Then the closest unit within 6 inches takes 1 mortal wound if you roll a 2 to 4. On a 5+, it takes D3. Number 2 is Murderous Hurricane, which is Watch Out 6. You choose a unit within 18 inches. It cannot shoot Overwatch unless it's in terrain. It says on or wholly within a terrain feature. And then it fights last after all of the Space Wolves. You got Tempest Wrath, which is a malediction at Watch Out 6. You choose a unit within 24 inches and it's -1 to hit with any attacks it makes, which is pretty decent. I think that is from the Codex as well. You got Instincts Awoken, which is a blessing at Watch Out 6. You choose a unit within 18 inches, and that unit is treated as if it had the Assault Doctrine active instead of the normal one. If the Assault Doctrine is active in addition, a 6 wound gains an additional AP, which is pretty decent. It's kind of like having the stratagem active that we spoke about earlier. You've then got Stormcaller, which is a blessing aura ability, and Space Wolf units within 6 inches gain light cover. Again, I think that's the same as well. And then you've got Jaws of the World Wolf, which is a Witchfight Watch Out 7. You choose an enemy unit within 18 inches. You roll a d6 each model, and on a 6, that unit takes a mortal wound. If you roll a 9 for the Warp Charge casting, so 9, 10, or 11, or 12, you add 1 to that roll, so it goes off at a 5+ instead. Which again, a really good power. You've then got 4 unique secondaries. There's 2 Purge the Enemy and 2 No Mercy, No Respite. So if you haven't used any of these already, then you can select one of these instead of a secondary as normal. I don't know if you can take one of these and one of the Space Marine ones at the same time, but I'm sure we'll get an FAQ eventually. Or I just haven't read it, I'm not sure. And then, lastly, we've got unit change highlights. And there isn't a lot. Like nothing, compared to the index, nothing has changed pretty much. The other things that I saw was Logan Grimnar is treated as having his deed for the saga completed at all times. So essentially his Warlord trait is Aura of Majesty, so the +3 inch range for his aura abilities, and everyone passes morale. For the deed is hold an objective marker, and then the saga is always pass morale. So he basically has a Fearless Bomber within 6 of him because it's always active. It's treated as if he had already completed it. And then Nigel or Nigel the Stormcaller is only Intimidator armor. The other one, I imagine, is going to go to Legends. So he's just Intimidator armor. Obviously, the big one is the Hounds of Morkai, which is the essentially we can't sell Reaver unit. Which the datasheet was already leaked on World Community, so here it is on screen. But they are 22 points per model. So the 110 points for 5 of them. And that's pretty much it. All the points are exactly the same as they are in the index. If you've got that, you know how many points everything is already. It looks like we're out of tape, everyone. We've come to the end of this highlight reel. YouTube doesn't like really long videos. Everyone knows that. It likes 10-minute videos. That's why I gave you a 10-minute video. But if you'd like to see a full 30-minute or 40-minute breakdown of every single change I could find in this book, then do consider subscribing to Hellstorm Premium. You can do that right here by joining Tier 3 to get not only this video, not only the other book reviews, but also 50 other videos that are exclusive to Tier 3 small board gang members. You can do that by clicking down below, or you can do it at hellstormwargaming.co.uk, subscribe there and get all the videos there as well. It's the same content on both platforms, it's just whichever one you want to watch, whichever one you fancy. Do you watch on your computer? Maybe consider joining the website. Do you watch on your phone and cast it to your TV? Join right here on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Don't forget, me and Tank will be live at 2 PM today. We're going to be having Space Wolves using the new supplement versus Necrons using their new Codex as well. So that should be really fun. I've got some Doomstalkers, I've got some Ghost Reapers, I've got all the good stuff. It should be really fun. Tune in at 2 PM today, UK time. But otherwise, have a great day. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.